The Athletic is the must-have service for sports fans. With in-depth, ad-free coverage of every sports story that matters and a lot of stories that don't, it's the gift you want yourself and the perfect present for the sports fan in your life. We're like a few days away from prime gifting time. You might be hard up for an idea. This one doesn't even require waiting on shipping. So it's really a fantastic solution. This holiday season, spread the joy of better sports coverage. Give an annual subscription to The Athletic and get one free. Now is the time to take advantage of getting your subscription and giving one free to see for yourself the creativity, reporting, and storytelling that sets The Athletic apart, plus the podcasts. And if you go to theathletic.com/birdswithfriends, you can receive 2 all-access subscriptions for just the price of 1. Get unrivaled sports coverage for an unbeatable price. So go to theathletic.com/birdswithfriends. Make sure you give your boys at Birds with Friends and Marissa a little, a little sidekick here. Give us a little boost by going there instead, and receive 2 all-access subscriptions for just the price of 1. We hope to see you there.
To your mother, it's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just a trio of feathery brethren weathering any season to see the Eagles eating teams like Scrammy's top with cheese. It's Philadelphia, Bo, Sheila, and Zach kicking it cooler than 3 penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some Birds with Friends. The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some Birds with Friends. Bo, Sheila, and Zach coming at you with steps and things flapping their wings on Birds with Friends.
All I know is Zach said he has a game where he'll don't read both 7,000 pages, and I said I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it.
And so the purpose of
that's what I needed was not to get at least one more reader. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a late Friday morning edition of Birds with Friends. Bo Wolf here, Marissa Morris in the controls, Zach Berman, Sheil Kapadia, as we prepare you for Week 15, a matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. And everybody wants to know, especially the people in the chat, Sheil, how you doing?
Well, Week 15, I like the sound of that. That sounds pretty good to me. Now, in our last podcast, I have not heard our audience be this passionate about any subject more so than the passwords.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Zach's just did people taking shots at Zach.
I apologize. I truly apologize.
Like, the one thing you're not supposed to do is what Zach said.
I apologize. I was not prepared for that one. I was simply trying to answer the question. From now on, I am going to abstain from any questions in which I don't know the answer to.
So this is on my list of things to do later today is get one of these password managers. I mean,
I have LastPass. That's what I use.
Where were you,
Why didn't you
Marissa? What are you talking about?
You guys are in the flow of the conversation.
I gotta tell you, I have LastPass as well, and I don't use it. It's.
I use it for everything.
I think I need to.
I use it for everything work related.
Different one.
Let's put it that way. I don't use it for my personal stuff,
when I
but
used
it's
to
all
have...
my work accounts and everything. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Marissa
well. Had the answer all along. She allowed us to sound like idiots for
but
that segment, and it made for a better show.
And you know what, though? Because I think that happened in the beginning of the episode. So it's not even like it was like 45 minutes in and we would have expected Marissa to be tuned down. So.
No, I was listening. You guys were in the flow of the conversation. So I was just letting you guys do your thing.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
Well, so we've got plenty to get to. We will do the bird on the street with our Stone Cold Newsman. We will go crow thine enemy on this Arizona Cardinals team with Mr. National Sheil Kapadia. We will have Swooper Storecasting. We are getting down to the nitty gritty. And of course, those of you in the live chat, make sure you give us your submissions for Swooper Storecasting. We'll add 3 of those. And then we'll close with the Crystal Bald Eagle. Zach, I committed I'm very embarrassed this morning. I committed one of the terrible sins of a Zoom press conference. I missed the first question of the Doug Peterson press conference. And then eventually it got to me and I asked a question that had sort of already been asked.
Oh, Bo,
I don't deserve to ask a question again next week.
I mean,
really bad.
It was phrased differently. It was phrased differently.
Zach,
so
I haven't even heard it, but I can tell Zach's just being nice. I mean,
so
I got to go back.
So the first question was about.
He started early.
how complex or different the Cardinal scheme is with the way they use multiple linebackers. And Doug was enthused about being asked about the opponent's scheme as opposed to, his own team, which is what all the questions are usually about. And then Bo came in a little later and asked what challenges the Cardinals defense presents.
The specific challenges, yeah. I mean, it's the same general idea. It's a little bit different, but I certainly wouldn't have asked it if I had heard the first one asked.
No problem.
Well, did Doug, how did Doug handle it?
He handled it well, and he gave a good answer, but he did say we sort of talked about this earlier.
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah.
You listen. You wonder why you're not getting called on. I mean,
I don't deserve to be. Yeah,
you don't really.
I should be frozen out for a week. I totally agree with that.
A week, rest of the season. I mean, if Eagles PR, Eagles PR is watching this, you have Birds with Friends permission to freeze Bo out. Between screwing up the Zoomer, earlier when you're going back and forth, the clip we play at the intro, and
that was
then
a long time ago.
Listen, it's all in one season. You gotta be firing on all cylinders at this point in the year.
Is there anyone who's firing on all cylinders at this point in the year?
All right, fine. You have to do the bare minimum, which is not asking a question that's been asked.
That's fair. We're losing Zach, but I think he'll come back.
We got no newsman. Let's take it to Bo Wolf, our stone cold newsman. Bo,
I don't know. I missed the first.
Yeah, did Doug Peterson question. Talk about the Cardinal scheme? What did he say?
Do you want me to play the music so you get in the zone?
Yeah, let's hear it. Start it off.
He's coming back.
Let's do it right now and put him on the spot.
Opportunity.
Hold on. Let's make him think it's going.
Zach, do we have you?
No.
This is like a real news broadcast.
All right. Give me the most important thing. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Zach, are you alive? In the void of company man background. Hello.
All right.
You hear
well,
us.
we don't have this is boring for listeners. Bo, what was the most important thing that Doug Peterson said you heard in this press conference?
1 second. I will be right. I'm just getting this fixed.
Boy, we are off to a Birds with Friends and just crushing it today.
Good stuff.
Absolutely crushing it. Oh, what do you? All right, that's one solution. I wish that was a Miller Lite or something. Just start
Wegmans cherry pomegranate.
All right, come on, Bo. Give me something he said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there is much important. He was asked about Zach Ertz, why he's been terrible this year, and he said that he's been injured and he's fighting through it, but he feels better now. And he, couldn't get on the same page with Carson Wentz earlier in the season. There's not a ton
about a forgotten man, Zach Ertz.
It's true.
Like, really complete. Oh, you forget that he's even on the team at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's probably
so
playing
much
his
for
last
trade
games
value
as an Eagle. Yeah, I mean, it really feels like it'll go in that Malcolm Jenkins type path in the offseason.
Yeah, but at least Malcolm Jenkins played well last year.
That's true.
I mean, it was a tough decision. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a very difficult decision. Zach, do we have you? No, we don't.
His computer is bugging out. Fixing it now.
Okay, we'll proceed.
We'll try and get him on his phone if he has computer issues.
What is Darius Slay like us to call him? Big play?
Just Slay or big play. Yeah.
Still in
the concussion protocol. He was a limited participant in practice yesterday, so I think there is a chance that he will play this week.
Okay.
I don't believe he addressed exactly what position Jalen Mills is going to play this week. So we'll wait and see on that front. He did say that Michael Jacquet is the guy who they have learned to trust a little bit.
Wow.
I think there was not a lot. There's not a lot of pressing issues going into this game. I feel like, Jalen Hurts has, taken another step, ingratiating himself with the guys in the offensive huddle this week.
Who
is my
leader?
Oh, he's back. Okay.
I apologize for that. Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready to
feel free to give us thumbs down? Feel free to give us thumbs down in the YouTube channel.
That's fair.
Thumbs up. Only thumbs up, please.
Oh, we lost him again. He's not back. What a tease.
All right, Bo, I have two questions for you.
This is going to be a tough super forecasting for him if he can't bid on anything. He'll carry over a lot, though. Go ahead.
Who is the starting offensive line? and who is the starting secondary? Your best guess at it going into this game.
Well, the starting offensive line is sort of set in stone. It will be Jordan Mailata at left tackle, Isaac Seumalo at left guard, Jason Kelsey at center, Nate Herbig at right guard, and Matt Pryor at right tackle. So that'll be offensive line combination number 13 in game number 14.
Herbig and Pryor.
Insane.
Okay.
Herbig and Pryor. So certainly there to be had. And then the secondary, my best guess is that it will be Jalen Mills. Let's assume that Darius Slay doesn't play. If Darius Slay doesn't play, then I think that it will be Jalen Mills and I guess Michael Jacquet as the starting corners, with Nickel Roby-Coleman inside and Marcus Epps and Kayvon Wallace at safety.
Did I miss my favorite segment?
You did, but you still have time to do it and put me to shame, because I certainly could not fill your shoes in this capacity.
Yeah, you have to do like an abridged version. Pretend that there's like some emergency breaking news we've got to go to on the streets of Philadelphia, and the anchor says, "Sorry, Zach, you got to give us sports in like here." I'm even going to set a timer. How much time do you think you need?
I don't want to repeat what was said before, though.
No,
I know.
Because this will be important, because we'll know what was actually important.
All right,
I'm
give
giving
me 10 seconds.
No, I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
Come on.
I'm going to give you more than that. What could you say?
Well, there hasn't been much that's changed since
All right, I'm going to give you 30
30.
seconds. All right? Ready, set, go.
We're not doing the music.
Oh.
Oh, you missed the music.
All right.
Darius Slay remains in the concussion protocol. The Eagles' star cornerback was a limited participant in practice on Thursday. Still needs to be cleared in order to play Sunday, but the fact that he was on the practice field Thursday shows that he is trending in the right direction. The Eagles will start their 13th different offensive line combination in 14 games. When Matt Pryor plays right tackle, there is still uncertainty about what it's going to look like in the defensive secondary as the Eagles figure out their numbers there. And as quarterback Jalen Hurts prepares for his second start with the Eagles, he is just trying to be like a coffee bean.
All right, you have 2 seconds over. Good job.
And he closed with the coffee bean.
Nice mental clock there, You should be hanging out with Carson Wentz a little bit more.
Well, 2 seconds for Carson Wentz would make a big difference.
I apologize for the computer errors.
What is your guess as to the starting secondary we will see this week, Zach?
Well, it's hard to predict with a concussion. That's a challenge. So let's say Slay's in the lineup. I think it'll be Slay on one side, Jacquet on the other side, then Mills and Epps at safety with Kayvon Wallace as the third safety getting playing time, Nickel Roby-Coleman in the middle, and then Seymour as the top backup. If Slay does not play, then my guess is Jalen Mills goes the cornerback with Jacquet on the other side, Wallace and Epps at safety, and then Seymour, again, the top one on the outside.
It's unbelievable that we are talking about Michael Jacquet like he's given as much guff as Shield was giving us in the summer. That we're talking about him like
all
he's
deserved.
Well, and guess what else happened this week? I don't know if you saw this, Shield. Did you see the?
Probably not. I don't know. What do you
see the transaction the Eagles made? My guy, Elijah Riley, promoted to the active roster.
Yeah, no, my eyes have trained themselves to when I'm scrolling through that stuff.
Yeah,
it just totally ignores it.
Well,
Have
then
you
you're
guys
gonna
spoken
love
about the Seymour story.
No, I was going to say Sheila's going to really love the story of Kevon Seymour, who is a player on the Eagles.
I thought Richard Seymour, maybe D-line coach, assistant or something. No, Kevon
Seymour Butts.
Yeah,
he's 41, right?
Kevon Seymour,
yes.
And it actually is the type of story that you like to hear. Humanized.
It was very nice. Les Bone did a good job with the story yesterday.
Yes. So 2016, 2017 was in the NFL. He was a 6th round pick by the Bills in 16, was traded to Carolina, played for the Panthers in 17, missed the 18 season because of shoulder injury, double shoulder surgery. And then last year didn't make the Panthers out of camp, was dealing with some injuries, but was out of the league. Okay. And he and his wife have 3 kids. He had been a conservative investor during his time in the NFL, but the money had been running thin during this past year. So he got a job at the local tire shop, if you will, down in Charlotte. he was training at Planet Fitness, training, and he likes cars. He knew these guys at the tire shop, was working there. His wife has a student loan she was paying off. So they were at the point where, he almost had to think about what the alternative would be. The Eagles called a few weeks ago. He comes to the practice squad, gets promoted to the active roster last week, is in the lineup, or not in the lineup, but is on the active roster.
Action.
Last week, plays against the Saints and expected to have a bigger role against the Cardinals this year. But 27 years old, did not want to give up on the NFL, was thinking of his alternatives, supporting his family in the interim. But now he's back on a pro roster.
He was pouring his heart out. I was watching that press conference in the living room here, and my wife was like, it's like he was using this as a therapy session. He's probably right.
He says he was at rock bottom, but he's from rock bottom.
And his favorite restaurant is also rock bottom.
So anyway,
what Kevon is cooking.
And so when you see Kevon Seymour on the field on Sunday, you will know his backstory.
That is a good story.
I think it's possible he starts over at Jaquette. It's not insane.
Yeah. I mean, Jaquette's been limited, so at least Seymour's
been banged up
there, and Seymour's played in the league.
He's played in the league before. Mm-hmm. It's the guy. It's not new to him. That's a Jim Shorts ism. Okay. Anything else that we need to know about this? The current state of this Eagles team, Zach. Desperate. I know you've already given your 30 seconds, but
no,
there's not as much going on this week because we've graduated to Jalen Hurts. There aren't as many moving parts. I mean, there are moving parts in the secondary, but
I think if you're looking at the roster, I think the big question will be what happens if an interior lineman goes down. What happens if a cornerback goes down? The Eagles don't have a backup guard right now for this game. Now they could, the name that I hope I got right the other night, Ross
Piersbacher.
Now he has to go through COVID protocols. Last week, John Bocci, he didn't practice and was active for the game. The same thing.
My guy. I believe it's Joe Bocci.
The hell is that?
Joe Bocci, linebacker. They signed off.
I mean, are you making up names?
No.
Linebacker. They signed off the Saints practice squad. More importantly, my 7th round pick in the shadow draft back in the spring. For the Eagles.
That's more important.
That's definitely more important.
So I'm curious to see. Right now, they have who they know will be active. They have Luke Juriga, who's a center, and they have Brett Toth, who's a tackle. My guess is they elevate Prince Tega Winogo. Now, if Nate Herbert goes down, or if Isaac Seumalo goes down, I guess they bounce Pryor inside, play Brett Toth on the outside, but they're really undermanned on the offensive line. And then at cornerback, as we've discussed, particularly undermanned there as well.
I think they could. My guess is they've probably been cross-training Juriga at guard this week as well.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
But we'll see. Okay. Well, not a lot going on.
That was really exciting. I think we have record viewership right now.
The coffee bean thing would get more intrigue.
The comments.
You like this coffee? I don't even know what is the coffee bean thing supposed to mean, Zach. It feels like a coach speak thing that's up your alley.
Yes. I like a good. Is it a parable? Would you call that a parable?
Well, you also like a good tie-in with an Eagles quarterback and coffee. You probably got a residual from that.
That's true. I got to tell you, it is in the Eagles download that will be up later. So, anyways, there was this book about this, and it's a story that you hear.
There's a whole book about the coffee bean.
Yes, it's a short story, but yes. And essentially, you put a carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean in boiling water. Okay, the carrot will wilt and soften. Okay, under the heat. The egg will lose its hard shell, but it'll become hard on the inside in the heat. But what the coffee bean does is it spreads out and it makes and it changes the water. So when the heat's on it, it changes the water. And that's what Jalen Hurts wants to be. He wants to affect everyone else around him. So it's similar to like when Mark Sanchez once told me, you have to be the thermostat, not the thermometer, right? Like what you're trying to be as the quarter. You like when your quarterback's the coffee bean, because what he's doing is when they're in a tense situation, an adverse situation, he's going to spread and make everyone else around him better. Doesn't do it.
We've already debunked the Sanchez thing. I mean, listen, just be the.
I'd much rather be flowing with the tide.
Yeah, now you read the room a little bit. You know, you don't want to be too energetic. If everybody's in a calm mood, you don't want to be too calm. Or if everyone's in an energetic mood, you gotta, read the room a little bit. I mean, really.
No, but you want to bring the energy, right?
Imagine being in the locker room just in like a chill mood, and Mark Sanchez is coming in yelling at everyone. I'd say go sit down, Mark.
No, I see your point. Like if you're I can't walk into a losing locker room and like be bouncing off the wall.
Yeah, there's a time and place. You can't always be at the same level. You got to move that thermostat.
But I think it depends too what your role is. If you're the quarterback, you want to be the one bringing the energy, setting the temperature for the room.
All right, I'm gonna write a book. How about this? Dress in layers. How about that? So if the room's hot, you take off the sweatshirt. You adapt. If the room's cold, you throw on the jacket. That's a good leader. He's adapting. How we feeling, everybody? How can I help you? You don't have to worry about me. I'm going to take care of myself. How can I help you? I don't need to be setting any thermostats. I mean, is there anything worse than somebody who's just setting a thermostat thinking they own the room? I mean, you come into my house, you touch my thermostat, you're out of here.
Totally agree. Yeah. I'm not interested in your pyramid scheme.
I don't care about your temperature preferences. Get the hell out of here.
This is my house.
This is my house. Win something first. I mean, really. Okay.
I do think we could talk about the Jason Kelce point about not playing for draft picks or things like that. Why don't you recap what he said, Zach?
Jason Kelce, it's the second consecutive week, gave a spirited retort. In this case, he
had one spirited defense of Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
And then
to your question.
Yep.
And
then he went into go ahead.
I want to pull this up so I quote him accurately.
Okay. I just have to say, Jason Kelce defending Eagles coaches since like 1945. I mean, really, how many more guys does this guy have to just go out there and defend?
Although he did take a veiled shot at Chip in his defense of Doug Peterson. He was saying like the most important thing you can be is authentic and relatable to players. Like you could be a genius, I guess, but that's not the most important thing. And that to me felt like a direct shot at Chip.
The year is 2045. Jason Kelce, the oldest center to ever play in the NFL, defends Eagles coach
Mike
X
Kafka.
So I won't read you the entire thing here, but I will read you the pertinent part. But he said, he prefaced it by saying, I think everybody's curious at all times to see what the young guys have in games. That's something that whenever a guy gets an opportunity, you're like, okay, let's see what the guy does. But then later on, he said, that being said, I think at all times in the NFL, the focus should be on winning the football game. Nothing else takes precedence. No player evaluation, no amount of curiosity from anybody within the organization. Everything is focused, in my opinion, in this league upon winning games. You see a lot of losing teams sustain losses for a number of years when they had bad cultures. They have cultures where you don't try to win every week. They are, and then he's essentially quoting them about like they're thinking about the draft, thinking about the free agency, and so on and so forth. He talked about how football is not basketball. One draft pick is not going to make a Super Bowl champion. It could help, but then here, so I'm picking this up later on, where he says so nothing takes precedence over trying to win a football game. I don't care who you're trying to evaluate. I don't care if you've lost every game, you're 0-15, and it's the last one you got. Everything is about winning in this league. And I know that won't appease a lot of people out there, always want to talk about getting better draft positions or getting looks at certain guys and see what you got for the future. Again, the moment a team feels like you as an organization aren't doing your job for me to go out there and win, all of a sudden You've shown who you are. You don't care about me or this team. You care about the future. You don't care about this. That's not what our focus is here. That's not the focus on any winning organization's team.
So, I mean, I think he's right. And obviously he's right. Who are we to say that he's wrong? He knows better than we do. But I think that there's a difference between some of the things that we've been agitating for and what he's talking about. Like, for instance, Travis Fulgham playing over Alshon Jeffrey is not just a look at the future. He probably, like, there's a very good case to be made that he helps you win now more than Alshon Jeffrey does. Like, we have that evidence. So I think he's generally right. Like, the players are playing to win. They should be playing to win. That's the whole point. Given everything that they, put in with both with their body and their time, especially this season when they probably, maybe shouldn't even be playing at all. So I think he's right. But I think there's a gray area where some of the decisions the team has made this year are still incorrect, even in service of just trying to win this season.
Yes, I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. First off, you want your players to think that way. Like you said, you don't want your players to ever think that the season's being cashed in. The team doesn't want to win. Like you want guys who have pride every time they go out there. It's also why the players aren't the ones making the decisions. But there are times, and we've seen it this year, where the younger player is more productive. You have a better chance of winning when the younger guy's on the field, right? And that seems to be the big conundrum here with this Fulgham Alshon Jeffrey situation.
Right. And this coaching staff, probably like most coaching staffs, has been leaning towards veterans over young guys at every step of the way. Like, you bring back Vinny Curry, and in the beginning of the season, he's playing more snaps than Josh Sweat. Well, look how that's turning out. Like, now Josh Sweat looks like a real player. So sometimes you have to turn that page in service of being better this season, even maybe down the stretch. So
the Fulgham thing is totally confounding to me.
Of course it is. It's insane.
Because Doug Peterson defended it the other day. He was asked twice about this, and he basically said Alshon Jeffrey's healthier and playing better. He said,
now, I actually thought that there was I thought he meant that Alshon is playing better than Alshon himself was playing. Not that Alshon's playing better than Fulgham. Yeah,
exactly. That's how I interpret it.
Okay.
And he said there are snaps for Jeffrey, snaps for Fulgham. The thing is, this is no longer a rotation. Alshon Jeffrey played nearly 3 times as many snaps as Travis Fulgham. Quez Watkins, who's been inactive for most of the year, played more snaps than Travis Fulgham. And I asked Doug directly, so 11 snaps was the plan, and he basically said that Travis needs to play better. And he said,
put it on me.
He said, put it on me. I'm the one who picks this. So the only thing I can interpret from this is behind the scenes, either on the practice field or in meetings, Travis Fulgham's doing something that the team's not happy about. Otherwise, it is irresponsible for them not to have – he's still the leading receiver on the team, even though he hasn't had a catch these past 2 weeks, has played fewer than 50% of the snaps, wasn't with the team until week 4. So it's confounding to me that Travis Fulgham's not on the field right now. It would seem that their best chance of winning football games is to have Travis Fulgham out there.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, that he did something to annoy them, whether he's dogging it in practice, whether
what do you think he
showing up late to meetings. I don't know. Have you seen coaches, what annoys them? I mean, he might have worn the wrong socks to practice
parked in someone's
or something.
Parking spot,
and really everything annoys them. It's like, so I don't know, that's the only interpretation, because if this was a guy who the coaching staff was like, we love we love his work ethic, we love what he's doing behind the scenes, then it would be a no-brainer. Now, I'm not saying that that's still the right decision, because sometimes a guy just shows up at the game and he's better than everyone else. And like Jason Kelsey said, your job is to win the game. And so you would just play that person, but he's got to be doing something behind the scenes that is, and I think Doug Peterson's, his comments have kind of like suggested like he's got to work hard, or hasn't he said these weird little like veiled things at him?
Well, it's so funny because the whole reason he got on the field in the first place was because he was practicing well. So,
well, I mean, they always say that. You can never believe that. Although the player, Jalen Mills,
that was the idea, at least.
All right.
So,
I mean, yeah. It's like there's
we
can't say anything else
can't
about
keep talking about
some
Travis
comments
Fulgham.
here.
There is one. Well, go ahead. And there's one other Eagles thing we can talk about, but go ahead.
Frank, when Zach was logged off there, said someone from Google's security team is camping outside Zach's house after his ill-advised password advice, and now they're hacking his network to make him pay.
Just to prove a point. Yeah.
Zach, take a look outside. Hopefully that's not what's happening.
I have been having network problems here at the past.
Change those
Zach,
passwords.
Famous for, among the four of us, listeners might not know this, famous for his upload speed.
Unbelievable, this guy. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the quickness with which he is
going
able
on
to
there.
upload his audio.
It's the company laptop.
I don't think it's a laptop. It's something
Yeah,
about your
it's the
Wi-Fi. You've got a better
Wi-Fi.
upload speed than we do. Yeah.
Well, clearly not today.
Tim says Marissa is going to have a hell of a day editing this one. I mean, she does edit the podcast, but like none of that stuff's coming out. So yeah, she doesn't have to worry.
I'll clean it up a little.
We are much.
but
We
I won't
are.
edit anything.
Let it fly.
We are much more low maintenance than other competing podcasts on bad football teams.
When Zach was telling the coffee
Competing
bean,
lower level, you know.
I think
Other
some people popped in
responsibilities she has.
when Zach was explaining the coffee bean thing. Some people had just popped in, and so we got comments. What is going on? I'm gonna throw up. This gets weirder every week. So I think people were very confused there. Tracer, winner of a Pastaficio gift card, says be the nacho. Everybody loves nachos. It could be a good book there.
That's true.
Tracer. I think that's a good one. Christine Michael says, in college, a friend turned our thermostat to 90 before he left late at night. Worst hangover ever the next morning. Good prank. I disagree. That is like, I would be ready to kill that person.
Yeah, I respect it though.
That's outrageous. And a couple people after hearing the Jason Kelsey comments want Jason Kelsey to be the next GM.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I think he could be a head coach if he wanted to. I also imagine he's the kind of person who has other interests outside football. But
why aren't offensive linemen head coaches more? It seems like that would make the most sense.
Too many blows to the head.
Okay. All right. Next.
Speaking of offensive linemen, this is the last Eagles thing we need to talk about before getting to Crow Thine Enemy. Doug was asked about Jordan Mailata, like, has he established himself as a long-term left tackle? And he was like, well, I don't think that's fair to Andre Dillard. And it reminds me a little bit of the like the Carson Wentz hand holding. Like, why do they have to be so protective of Andre Dillard? He's not playing right now.
It was interesting because he said that right after we did the podcast. We taped the podcast and went to Doug's, and we were talking about this Mailata Dillard thing, right? And no, the Dillard thing doesn't make much sense to me. I guess because of the investment, or maybe they like him as a player, or Doug likes him as a player. I don't know, but it would seem to me I would lean in toward Mailata. But he was very careful to say, like, well, we haven't seen Andre Dillard out there. Well, the fact that you haven't seen Andre Dillard out there might be,
Now, listen, like if Jordan Mailata had Andre Dillard's rookie season, like if he was playing like Dillard did last year, we would be excited about Mailata still. Sure. But the difference is one guy is 2 years older than the other and has been playing football forever. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. And you don't. It's not like Doug has to say he's our left tackle of the future and just totally crater whatever trade value there would be for Andre Dillard potentially. But he also doesn't have to protect him like he's a baby fawn or something like that.
He could have also said, I don't know if I'm going to be here next year. So
he could have.
Why you asking me questions about that? I thought that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go, Shu.
Oh no, I was going to change the subject. You got something?
Yeah, so I had a question for you.
You walked out of that conversation, so we know you want to know part of it.
Sometimes I got to blow my nose. I don't want to blow my nose in front of a YouTube audience, so I just get up for that. How about? I thought this was an interesting thing from this week from Paul Domowitch of the Daily News. This article. Sources close to owner Jeffrey Lurie said that while no decision has been reached on whether Doug Peterson will be back for a sixth season, Howie Roseman's return never has been in doubt. In fact, it's not even something Lurie has contemplated. Well, what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, that's what I've expected. That's the way I've been operating. That's the way I've been talking about it on this podcast is I don't anticipate them moving on from Howie Roseman. I know Bo makes the point he's loyal to Howie until he's not, right? But I'm still operating, and I've been operating this way all along, is that the evaluation of Howie is looked at in a different scope than the evaluation of Doug.
I just think that there's a perception around the league that that undersells Jeffrey Lurie's agency in his own football team. Like he needs to be handheld and he's not capable of making these decisions. Jeffrey Lurie can he can make bold decisions.
Sure.
If he decides, I mean, maybe he doesn't think that Howie Roseman has done a bad job, and we can obviously we would debate that. But I think the I think there's this idea, and I think part of it is maybe filtered through Howie friendly circles that like they're definitely tied at the hip, and I think that Jeffrey Lurie is his own man. He can run the team however he wants. That's all. I
agree with that Jeffrey Lurie can run the team however he wants. I think his evaluation,
I think he's capable of a bold stroke.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that Howie is going to stay here because Jeffrey Lurie is scared of making a change or is unafraid to do something bold. I'm saying that the evaluation of Howie's job is different than I think the way it is on the outside. And I think that Jeffrey, and I've made this point, Jeffrey doesn't look at that position as simply sitting there scouting players. He simply doesn't. He looks at the strategy of it. He looks at the organizational management of it. Now you can say roster management's a problem, and that would fall upon Howie. But I think with these decisions, even though Howie has final say, I think Jeffrey Lurie views them more nuanced in that I think he knows what goes into each decision. As I said, maybe it's the medical staff, maybe it's the coaching staff. Ultimately, Howie has final say and he should be held responsible. But I'm just saying the decision of Howie Roseman and the way Jeffrey Lurie makes it comes with more nuance than a coaching decision because Jeffrey's not on the field making those decisions as a coach.
And I have said that I actually think that the macro view of the team building strategy is less kind to Howie than the micro, like you missed on a couple of draft picks, you missed on a couple signings. That happens to everybody. But the macro strategy of not having a lot of pick volume for a long time, continuing to extend old players, like that's been the roster strategy, spending an offseason focused on fixing the defense to the exclusion of the offense. And we know that Jeffrey Lurie knows that, says publicly that offense is what wins football games. They spent an offseason not addressing that. I think the strategy, the 10,000 foot view of the strategy has been worse than, just parsing a couple mistakes with roster moves.
But Jeffrey's not. But Jeffrey's not just like sitting in his office and waiting until the end of the year to know what the strategy is.
That's absolutely true. Jeffrey Lurie is involved in those decisions. Yes,
exactly. So when it comes to how they are going to approach the offense, Jeffrey Lurie is involved in that. Like in theory, if you're talking about a trade for player X, right? Like now Jeffrey Lurie is not telling them go sign Ross Piersbacher off of the Washington practice.
It'd be funny if he was. That'd be great.
But when you're saying this is how we're going to approach wide receiver this offseason, or we have the option of giving this up in a trade for Deandre Hopkins, or this is what we feel about the draft, or this is the type of like Jeffrey's in all of those conversations.
Okay, but then what? I mean. So Howie Roseman cannot be held responsible for anything because the owner.
Oh, he can. I'm not justifying it. I'm explaining the thought process here.
Right, but I mean, I think if you are Jeffrey Lurie, and I think we have 21 years. Like Bo, you said, Jeffrey Lurie has agency, but we have 30 years or 27 years, whatever the year was that he went from Joe Banner as his right hand man to Howie Roseman as his right hand man. That's it. So he's always had this person sort of right next to him who is making all these decisions with him. I agree with Zach. It's not Howie is not in the football guy, just evaluate personnel, mold of a GM. He is in the tie it all together, from the coaching staff to medical staff to analytics to scouting to all these different things. All right, let's oversee all of these things. All of that has been a failure. I mean, they've cycled through how many medical staffs or how many different medical personnel in the years, drafting, free agency, overall plan, trades, big decisions like whether to how a Jalen Hurts pick could affect your starting quarterback, whether to extend offensive linemen, whether to go after DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Diggs or Darius Slay, how to help your quarterback, whether to go with consensus picks with some of these draft picks that you see, or whether to be bold and go with someone that you, so like your job in that position is to evaluate the people under you, whether that's personnel or these, and that hasn't worked well either. So in some capacity, he definitely has had failures in the last 3 years. Now I agree that I've been operating, whenever I get asked this question, I say, I'm going to assume Howie Roseman is the GM until he's not the GM. That, that's just how it's going to be. Now, maybe one day Jeffrey Lurie will surprise us. I thought, in Damo's article, that was, that was pretty strong that he hasn't even contemplated it, because if you're looking at Jeffrey Lurie and how upset you have to be with sort of the direction of this franchise, the state of this franchise. I mean, we just published an article about who's in worse shape, the Eagles or the Bears. I mean, really think about that. And some of the other things you're seeing, the worst offensive performance in the last 20 years for this franchise. I would think you're looking at everything, and considering everything. Every option should be on the table. So again, we will see how these final 3 weeks go and what decisions they make. But, it just feels like it's been 21 years of, Howie can't be held responsible for that. Howie can't be held responsible.
Yeah, sure.
They had a coach. They had another. This guy was running the draft. At some point, I mean, is he not the highest paid employee in the front office and the one with final say on everything? Like, at some point, you have to be held responsible for some of those decisions.
You're absolutely correct.
All right.
I think that's well said.
I do think if Howie's back, I think there's going to be someone else different in the front office too.
Another, what is it? The rearranging the, what is it?
Chairs on
Chairs to Titanic. You knew I was going to screw that up. But yes, they've tried that before. They've tried all of this before. I mean, maybe it'll work. Maybe they have a better strategy this time, but they talk about no new ideas. They could never just rip the Band-Aid off. They're like Leela. You know what I did? One of my worst moments as a father was she was probably 2 or 3, and she was just like refusing to take this Band-Aid off, and it was driving me nuts. It had been on for so long. Like, you don't need this Band-Aid off, but she just wouldn't. And so I just snuck behind her. Oh my gosh, she'll never forget that. She'll be reminding me about that when she's in her 30s, about the pain I caused her in that moment. But
definitely my worst moment as a father was when Casey was a couple months old. The first time I was charged with clipping his nails, I got some skin, and I have not done it to him since.
Oh boy,
really bad.
Zach, do you have a worst moment as a father while we're sharing?
Nothing
comes to mind.
That I caused. I don't
cause any physical pain to your children.
Yeah, I don't think I've administered any physical pain to my kids like that. I mean, I can't think of one offhand.
Okay, Mr. Perfect Dad over here. Got it.
No, not Mr. Perfect. I just don't have anything like I've had like that. I've taken my daughter to the emergency room, and that's like scary to see. But nothing like that. Yeah.
I gotta say, it felt good ripping that Band-Aid off. I didn't want to cause her pain, but it needed to come off. Sometimes you got to step in and do stuff like that. All right.
When I was little, I was on the playground, and my mom I was at the top, and another kid went to go start climbing, and my mom went to grab the other kid, and I fell flat down on my nose, and I broke my nose.
Broke your nose? Wow.
That is serious.
So she went to go save the other little kid that was climbing, and I was at the top, and she let me, and I fell.
I thought you were going to be like, I was in preschool. I thought you were going to be
There's
like, I was at the
pictures
top of the
my whole
playground.
face, black and blue.
My
Yeah.
mom just shoved me up and I broke my
No,
nose.
she saved the other kid and then I fell.
Wow,
So
that's tough.
to this day, as I'm 26, we still make jokes about it.
Now, how do we know
Well-
how is that other kid doing these days? Do we have any idea?
I honestly don't know. It's like a family friend. It wasn't. It's not someone we're close with. It's not like it was one
I
of my.
thought it
friends.
was a random kid.
I'm
He's got
pretty
a-
sure my mom still feels guilty.
Wherever he
about
is,
it,
he's
but-
got a perfect nose.
Yeah. So
I-
those
I'm
things
not-
aren't that bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this segue, but maybe if you want a perfect nose and you need some money for a nose job, let me tell you about DraftKings
That's good.
Sportsbook. It feels like just yesterday that Los Angeles was lifting basketball's most coveted prize. Since then, we have introduced a new class of professional basketball players through the draft and seen a few marquee names switch teams. Luckily for us, sports fans, DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is here to kick off the 2021 basketball season with a no-brainer for all customers, new and existing. If you haven't tried DraftKings Sportsbook yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. You know, I use DraftKings Sportsbook for my lines, for my against the spread picks column in the NFL.
well.
We're going strong. 3 weeks left to celebrate the return of basketball. If you don't want to bet on football, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you a plus 75 point spread on the team of your choice on opening night. That's right. All you have to do is bet on any opening night game. And if your team doesn't lose by more than 75 points, you will double your money. This Saturday, there will be an endless amount of action to get in on. So don't wait. Head to the app now. DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TOSS when you sign up to get a plus 75 point spread on opening night for a shot to double your money. That's code TOSS to get a shot at doubling your money on opening night for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Bonus comprised of a first deposit. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, perhaps you do have a perfect nose, but not everything else is perfect. But let me tell you, a healthy life includes a
great.
healthy sex life. But if you struggle with erectile dysfunction, you may not feel like your best self. If you want help with ED, Roman connects you with a real U.S. licensed healthcare professional who can prescribe the medicine you need. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman will ship you real medicine with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, simple, and discreet. Getting started is also simple. Just go to getroman.com/BWF and complete an online visit. Erectile dysfunction used to be tough to talk about, but now there's Roman. Complete an online visit today to connect with a doctor and take care of it. Just go to getroman.com/BWF to get $15 off your first order of ED treatment, a free online visit, and free 2-day shipping. That's getroman.com/BWF for $15 off your first order of ED treatment. Getroman.com/BWF.
All right, Sheila, let's get a little crow thine enemy on the Arizona Cardinals as the Mr. National with your glistening record against the spread. Why don't we start with let's start with the Cardinals defense, because I was surprised actually. They're 9th in DVOA. I did not expect that heading into the week. 9th against the pass, 15th against the run. I know Hassan Reddick had that big 5-sack game last week, and they have Jordan Hicks. What else can you tell us?
Yeah, I have very little to add. I don't know if people really care about the Cardinals breakdown, but I'll give it to you. Okay. A lot of man coverage. I think top 5 in percentage of man coverage, and also blitz heavy. Top 5 in blitz frequency there. So they've got Patrick Peterson at one cornerback spot. Okay. I would say like mediocre to above average. Certainly not a shutdown guy. I think when he faces really good wide receivers, he does not perform very well. Budda Baker, the safety, is probably their best defensive player. He got a big contract earlier in the season.
Great name.
Great name. I mean, yeah, like if his name was John Brown, if you swapped Budda Baker, John Brown's name, everybody like John Brown, they would think he's the best receiver in the NFL.
I think that's fair.
and Buda Baker.
Good tie-in because the most famous Eagles Cardinals game I can remember covering was the was John Brown touchdown led by that was Kevin Cobb. Yeah.
There you go. So they are 16th in pass rush win rate. Lost Chandler Jones for the season, so it's not a great pass rush. Hassan Reddick has been sort of yanked around in different defensive schemes throughout the course of his career. He's a free agent.
Save that for the Roman Reed.
He's a free agent at the end of the season. I thought they might trade him before the season, but they kept him. And he had
Sean
a 5-sack
Bradley's
game
face
last week.
lit up when he was asked about Hassan Reddick.
He likes the Hassan Reddick?
As their from their Temple days, yeah.
Okay. So Jordan Hicks, you mentioned. That's about all I got. I mean,
Okay.
I don't find it that exciting. Yeah.
And how about this offense that ranks 14th overall, 14th in pass, 16th in the run? We know they've got Kyler Murray and his fun scampers. What else they got going on?
Yeah, I would say, I think Cliff Kingsbury gets too much credit for any offensive success that they have. I don't feel like he's been like a great innovator or anything like that. I feel like if you watch a lot of their successful offensive plays, it's Kyler Murray doing something amazing or Deandre Hopkins doing something amazing. I mean, there are little things certainly here and there, but I feel like they've been stagnant. They had a 3-game losing streak, I think, before last week's win over the Giants, and the offense just was not great. Now, Kyler Murray had this like shoulder injury a month ago. And so, I mean, he's still playing. He can still do some amazing things, but you do wonder if that's slowed him down a little bit. But he throws, I would say, one of the prettiest deep balls in the entire NFL, maybe the prettiest one. A lot of it is just feed Nuke Hopkins and let him win his matchups, which I would expect to see in this game. And then Murray is very good, both on option runs, designed runs, and as a scrambler. So he is a very fun player to watch. I wouldn't say they have a lot of firepower other than that. Christian Kirk, I think, has been sort of up and down for them. Larry Fitzgerald is not who he used to be, although I don't know what his numbers are against the Eagles. It feels like he lights them up every time, although I guess he's probably lit up a lot of opposing.
Do you know that Larry
defenses.
Fitzgerald, when I was looking up those records for that piece a couple weeks ago, he has the highest percentage of his team's receiving yards, like highest share of his receiving yards in NFL history, like more than Jerry Rice.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that, so it is good.
It's pretty impressive.
But like thinking about it, yeah, because the 49ers have had more, a lot more team success. Like Larry Fitzgerald's been there, I guess, for the only time they've been. But
you would think, I would have thought just because passing is more heavy now than it was then, that it would be Jerry Rice, but still pretty impressive.
Kingsbury also has issues with game management. So if you're looking for an area where the Eagles have an edge, it certainly could be with Doug Peterson there, because Kingsbury just gets like very conservative in weird spots. He forgets Kyler Murray is his quarterback, timeouts. I mean, all these different types of things. To his credit, he doesn't poo-poo it like some other coaches we see. Like, I feel like he's been accountable every time he's been called out on that stuff. We're not talking about like an Anthony Lynn Chargers level of incompetency here, but that is something to keep an eye on.
Sheil, I asked Doug today about the Kingsbury type offenses, the air raid offenses, and there were two reasons I was curious about it. First off, Jalen Hurts excelled in that style of offense last year under Lincoln Riley. And then also the Eagles did pursue Graham Harrell this offseason, who comes from that tree. Are there concepts of the air raid that you think the Eagles should incorporate in their offense?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think there are play concepts that they could incorporate and have been incorporating. I mean, my understanding of the air raid, and I'm not like an expert on it, but pass heavy, small volume of plays with kind of out of different looks, sort of that Chip Kelly philosophy, you could say. And then it's like, instead of the Bill Walsh like routes where it's all right, you got to, this many steps and like very refined to details. It's more read the coverage and run to open space. And so the quarterback and the wide, it's like takes reps. The quarterback and the receivers have to be on the same page. They've got to be reading it on the same way. That's why when it works, it looks amazing. And when it doesn't work, it probably can look a little, look bad or look disjointed. So.
And there was that thing going around about how Deandre Hopkins has basically only been lining up on the left side for like 3 games in a row. Like they're not moving him around at all.
Right.
They're just sort of sticking with what they do.
Not a lot of motions. Yeah, I don't think not a lot of motions. And I think the same side thing was more of I don't know if that's like a tempo thing, like if you're running your route on your left side, just get back to the left side so we can hurry up and move. I don't know where that originated. So
anyway. Let me ask you this, Sheil. I think I know which way you're going, but one quarterback to start a franchise with, where like is Kyler Murray in the conversation, or is it Justin Herbert like just right away?
Oh, well, it's Mahomes.
I guess I forgot about Mahomes.
Yeah.
Definitely Mahomes. After Mahomes.
Yeah, it's so fun. He's so good that it's at the point.
He's the best quarterback of all time, probably.
In the everything has to be the non-Mahomes category.
Right.
All right, let me pull up the teams here just to get a look here. I loved Herbert early on.
You did. He is. It was a lot of fun to watch him last night.
I mean, really imagine if they actually helped this guy.
It's crazy.
They could be, if they got the right coach, improve the offensive line, they could legitimately be like in the AFC Championship next year.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I mean, they have to see that. Don't they have to see that?
And there are all these like national people saying you got to keep Anthony Lynn. You don't have to keep Anthony Lynn.
Oh my God. I mean, if you want to keep Anthony Lynn as the, I'd say you're not making any game management calls.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't just be the game manager because he's terrible at that.
No, you're not making any strategy calls. If you want to, this might not be a bad role for a head coach. You're just kind of the culture guy. Issues come up, you're the guy, that kind of thing. Keep everyone together, motivator. That's fine.
Yeah, but the problem with that is your selection of candidates for who's going to want to be just an offensive coordinator is not the same as somebody.
Their offensive coordinator is not the problem.
You could, but you could.
He is too. He is
like
the problem too. And at that point, it's like, well, what are we paying you for again?
Right.
If that's all you're doing. But my gosh, if they could find the right offensive coach for him while he's on a rookie contract here, he could break every Chargers curse over the next 3 years. And I hesitate because, our DFOP Sunset Shaz says that rookie quarterback performance can be very noisy. But my gosh, talk about the eye test, just passing it. Yeah. You're like, it's so hard to envision a scenario where the feel. Yeah. Love a Herbert. All right. Who's that? Who's in the conversation there? I think Murray's in the conversation. Deshaun Watson is probably in a conversation. Lamar would be in the conversation. Is Josh Allen in there for you yet?
You tell me. For me,
I would say let's see a little more.
Yeah,
I would want to. I would not put him in there yet, although he is having a fantastic season. I think that's probably the list here.
Is Burrow in there for you?
Yeah, I love a Burrow, but Herbert came in when
I think Herbert's number 2.
Burrow was away on a business trip, and Herbert knocked on my door. And listen,
somebody said they wanted an open relationship, and here we go.
I think so. Anyway, all right.
Okay.
Love a Herbert.
Well, before we get to super forecasting, I want you guys to know that this episode is brought to you by 1010. Now, you may have read about this in the New York Times or Forbes, and we're excited to tell you about it. 1010 is an exclusive collection of 10 one-of-a-kind engagement rings designed by 10 of the most distinctive designers working today. Using only diamonds responsibly sourced from Botswana, 10 design masters have each produced a uniquely beautiful commitment ring, launching exclusively on January 18th at BlueNile.com. And when they're gone, they're gone. We all know that the diamond engagement ring is iconic. It's a timeless expression of the deepest commitment between two people. And with 1010, it's been beautifully re-envisioned in the hands of 10 modern designers working exclusively with sustainably sourced diamonds. If you are making 2021 plans or looking for a unique and meaningful way to celebrate Valentine's Day, you're definitely going to want to check this out. Again, this exciting limited edition collection of diamond engagement rings launches on January 18th, and you can preview it exclusively at BlueNile.com. Some advice for Sheil as he looks to lock up Justin Herbert long term. All right. Before we get to super forecasting, there's some cleanup that has to happen here because people have been asking, how is it that Sheil has 3.5 points, I have 3, and Zach has 1, and that does not add up to a full number? Was there a mistake in the point process at some point along the way? So I went back this morning and listened, and the reason is because we had a 3-way tie one week in the Seahawks game when Sheil went back to the tape and found the KJ Wright screen sack.
My man.
And we decided to adjudicate that as a half point each when it could have technically been a third of a point each. But because it's been canon at this point, we will move forward with 3-way ties somehow add up to greater than the sum of their parts. So that is how we have 3.5 for Sheil, 3 for me, 1 for Zach. If Zach wants to stay alive, he has to avoid a tie with Sheil this week or an outright win for Sheil. If Sheil wins this week, Zach is eliminated as we go to 2 weeks left. And heading into this week, I have 3 points left over, turkeys rather. Zach has 7 turkeys left over, and Sheil has 4 turkeys left over.
Am I supposed to respond? What? Sorry, I was going through the
I was
comments.
waiting
there.
for that. Okay, so once again, turkeys this week. Zach has 31. Sheil has 28. I have 27.
And what's the count? What's the overall count? I know you just said it.
You have 3.5. I have 3. Zach has 1.
All right. We got 3 weeks left.
3 weeks left. So you
what's,
can't clinch it
is
this
there a
week, but you
magic
can
number?
eliminate. Well, for you, it's. I
Oh
guess
yeah.
2. You can eliminate Zach, but you cannot win outright this week. I will still be alive no matter what.
Either of us can eliminate Zach with a victory.
Yes, an outright victory for either of us will eliminate Zach. Zach needs at least a tie.
Oh boy.
But he's also got a number he needs to keep for next week somewhere in his mind.
Oh, he's got to let it rip now.
Yeah, my back's
Right.
against the wall. So
All right, I like this. This is going to be
Just like how you like it, Zach.
And we got some good submissions. I have
Zach's
a bunch
gonna-
on my list. I don't
Okay.
know what I'm gonna read.
Zach needs to come out with an underdog mask. Who everybody's been counting him out, but this is a guy with championship pedigree.
Real quick, a commenter said, Bo, both you and I have told that story about our kids previously. So, Jacob, thank you for being a loyal listener.
It tells you that
And
at least it sticks with us. You know, we're holding on to the pain.
it tells you this podcast is going to get progressively worse here, and we're going to just repeat all of our bits, which is already happening. All right,
No
let's
doubt
get
about
to
that.
it.
Okay. So like I said, thanks to the chat, we have a lot of good submissions. I have like a bunch written down. I'm not sure which 3 I'm going to read yet, but we shall see how this goes. Okay. Let's start this one off with Deandre Hopkins has the most receiving yards against the Eagles of any player this season.
Ooh.
Do we know
One.
what's the high for that?
Metcalf's, I think 186. I want to say.
Ooh. I think it was 170 something.
Yeah, I think it was 170 something.
Okay.
All right. Anyway,
That might be right.
2,
Let's see.
3,
4.
Do I hear 5?
5,
6 is 177. DK Metcalf.
No,
Wasn't
George
close.
Kittle had 183 against the
Oh.
Oh, big
Who did?
flex. George
George
Kittle.
Kittle.
Oh wow.
Dang.
That's
Okay,
right.
So
10
183.
of 10. I'm not going to top 5.
Going once,
I'm not going to top 5 either.
going twice.
Sheil gets it.
So that was 6 for Sheil.
Mm-hmm.
No,
No, he
Five,
5.
Oh, 5. And it's 183. So that is what he needs.
Now,
to
wait, did it
Well,
say
he needs to get 184.
he needs to get 184? Yeah.
Has the most.
Settle down.
Listen, we got to hash out these pedantics ahead of time.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. Okay. So he needs 184. Okay. Jake Elliott makes every kick.
1,
2.
3.
Again, he has to attempt at least one.
Yeah,
Just to be
that's true.
clear.
True. Agree.
4.
5,
5, 6,
7.
8. Who got the 8 there? I feel like I did, but Bo
Oh,
will
I
say
thought
he
I
did.
got it. Yeah.
9.
Oh, it doesn't matter, I guess.
9,
9. Jake the Snake.
10.
Oh.
If you are a listener, you don't need to watch the whole episode on YouTube, but you should tune in just to see Zach's pained face when someone bids against him.
We're at 10, right? The bidding's at 10.
I have it at 10.
turkeys. I use a third of my. I think that's just I don't know what the remain. I wish this was later on in the game.
That's the
right?
whole game, baby.
That's the point. You don't know what's coming later. You don't know
That's
if
the
it's
whole
good. You don't know if it's
beautiful
bad.
You know
design.
what? 11.
Going once.
11. I wonder what the all-time highest bid on a outcome is.
11's pretty high. That was last week without the Eagles scoring more than 17 points, and they did. So pretty sure she'll bid 11 last week.
I'm gonna go 12.
Oh, baby.
I'm out.
Yeah, it was 11 last week.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay. So 12 for Elliott and goes to Bo. Wow, Bo, you used a lot of your
I mean, it has look. He's a 73% kicker from field goals this season, 90 on extra points. So you're dealing with high percentages they'll both happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good bet.
The Eagles finished the game with a different offensive line than the one that started the game. So that's not saying if somebody leaves and comes back. The final snap.
That also could be garbage time.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, it has been established that offensive line is only the 5 players from left tackle to right tackle. It does not include a 6th
Correct.
offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Who are their backup offensive linemen for this game?
Luke Juriga,
Brett Toth.
Brett Toth.
That's it? Wow.
She was really into like the 15-minute mark of the show. Right?
Yeah. She was checked out for a long time.
I'll go 1.
2.
I can't get it for 2, 3.
4. I mean, it's not fun to be betting on an injury, but
You can have it.
Hold on.
Oh.
I'll take a 5 for that bad boy.
I'll let you have it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Kyler Murray has a run of 30 yards or more.
1.
2.
3.
4.
5.
Going once.
6.
What's it? 30 yards or more?
Yeah.
Yes.
He only has one of those this season.
Wow, look at him crunching numbers.
But the Eagles have allowed a number of them. I'm not going on that. No.
Oh.
So 6.
I'm out.
All right.
It's a pretty good one.
Okay, so just to update, Sheil is at 12 turkeys left.
Yep.
Okay.
Zach has all 31 and I've got 15.
Okay. Travis Fulgham has more catches than Larry Fitzgerald.
1.
Save my turkeys for this. 1.
I already said 1.
Oh, you want to say
Is
2?
Fulgham going to be active for this game?
Yeah, I don't even know that. Yeah. 2.
I'll go 3.
How many turkeys do you have?
I have 15.
15.
Jeez.
I use my turkeys.
Fitz says 4.
Going once. Going twice. Sold to Zach for 4.
All right.
Okay.
2 best receivers in NFL history.
How many more do we have left here?
7.
Oh boy! Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
Zach convinces his wife or one of his brothers to join the post-game pod for at least 5 minutes, but during the guest appearance, he will remain on screen but silent.
I'm not even bidding on this.
Was that yours, Shield?
That was from the chat.
That wasn't for me. I thought that was you. Definitely.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
asked if Zach
so-
that could help you. That could
So
be
No,
a
he
given.
he convinces a family member to appear on the
pod
post-game
for at
pod
least
for
5
5 minutes, but Zach
But-
has to remain silent.
Mhm.
Okay.
Zach,
I mean,
this is a free
no,
win. I
I-
did this last week.
I love my wife more than I want to win.
Family member. I think
Yeah,
it could
what
be
about
a
your
brother.
brothers?
It says one of his brothers.
It could be anybody.
No, I'm.
How bad do
Get
you want
AB.
it?
No,
Oh my
no.
gosh.
I was contemplating back and forth whether to do this one, but
Yeah.
I
No,
did
I think
figure
it's a
Zach,
fa-
this
I-
could be in your favor.
Yeah,
you could
it
They're
need
throwing
this
you a
one.
bone,
You need to
Zach.
stay in the game.
It's like me. You think I wanted to be on the post game pod? Sometimes you
How
gotta
much
I don't
do you
care
want-
about me doing something.
How
I don't
badly
wanna
do you want to
volunteer.
win?
No, that's I mean that's unfair to
You have 75 brothers.
You also don't have to do it. You just spend a couple turkeys, keep the option in your back pocket. If you're winning anyway, you don't have to call on the
You can bribe a
burn.
brother. You tell him, listen, if I need this, who wants it? I'll buy
I
you a
guess I will waste it.
pasta
I will go 1 turkey here. 1 turkey.
2.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can have.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you don't want to go 3?
No, I'd rather you spend.
You've
your
got
turkey.
so many turkeys.
Oh my
It's a guaranteed loss for you. No, I'm.
Ooh.
Look,
Go to 3. Go to 3.
I'm
I
not
promise
doing
I
that.
won't bid 4.
Yeah, I'm not doing that too. Look,
Keep the option in your back pocket.
she's sleeping when we do our
It doesn't have to be your wife.
How about father-in-law, the listener of the pod? He would love to do a guest appearance for 5 minutes talking about what a great son-in-law he has.
I'll go
about-
3. Keep it in my back pocket.
All right.
Okay,
great.
you can have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very excited.
So I didn't want to throw you under the bus with that one, Zach, but I figured it could help you out. So
Yeah, I suppose I could have that option. I could run it by
and you
them.
were really upset about last week with Shields getting his,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Now you get.
given.
Now you get.
So
one.
now you
I
kind
just
of
wish
got
it was
one,
something
and it was a
like
listener submission.
like Zach
so.
needs to say this during the podcast or something like that. It just something.
Well, there was one that said the Eagles score more points than turkeys. Zach carries over to next week.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I figured if it was a week you had like 50, it might be easier. But you didn't. You only had 31. This
Now,
week,
does the
so.
friend have to appear on screen?
Uh,
I guess
No,
it says
that
it
was-
is.
that
It says,
wasn't it.
but it says Zach has to be on screen and be.
Oh, well, that
Uh,
makes it much better. If I could just have like my brother call in and yeah.
I think a call in. I think a
I think
call
a
in is
call-in's
fine if
fine.
we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we get to. I get. Well, Zach Shield probably won't be there, but I'll get to.
Who
talk.
knows what?
to the
I don't know
person.
what other
Yeah,
questions we're
we don't
gonna
know what's
get.
coming.
Maybe you'll.
And
school
Zach,
me
I'll
again.
also say if you can't get a friend or if you can't get a family member, I will extend Chip Kelly to be included in your family. You can get Chip. That would count.
Or Nick
On this
Saban.
pod, we're doing a.
Or is it any current head college football coach would count as well.
No, I'm
Really?
not gonna go that far.
Can be an assistant coach.
No,
I
I said
don't.
head.
Yeah, no. It has to. You have to be true to the listener's question. Sorry, no exceptions.
I wish I wrote down what listener submitted that.
A
but
very
thanks.
good comment from in the chat now. Zach Berman : why I left the Athletic.
You think about that every time I go on the podcast. Right?
All right.
All right.
What do we got?
6 questions
Okay.
left.
All right. At least one of the 2 starting quarterbacks sets a career high in rushing yards.
I wrote this one. Kyler Murray has 106 as his career, and Hertz's was whatever it was last week.
I think it was
111.
106. Oh, I thought it was
107.
106.
1,
Anyway,
3,
4,
5,
I'm out.
Do I want this for 6? Career high? Ooh, Hurts just has to beat what he did last week. He's going up against easier defense.
Man to man, heavy man.
Heavy man. It's probably going to be a high scoring game, right? So he's going to have I'm going to go 6.
Jesus. Let's see. I've used 7 already. Came in with 31, so down to 24. If I use 7 on this, down to 17.
That's that's a lot more than Bo and I have.
I will go 7 on this.
Okay, I'll let you have it for 7.
Okay. So you've got 17 left. I've got 15 left. Sheil has 12 left.
Oh, I didn't realize you had 15 left.
Wait, Zach got that one for 7, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was checking on the chat. Okay.
5 left.
Okay. Jalen Mills does his finger wag on an incompletion that he has nothing to do with. And then in parentheses, like a bad throw or a dropped pass.
How do we determine this?
Wait, let the lady finish.
Okay.
Note, there is a gray area here on whether Mills had anything to do with it. Marissa is the judge.
You're welcome for this one.
2.
Wait. Zach hates this one.
4.
I'm out.
Want this for 5? He did. If he's playing corner, it's kind of like a guarantee. He's probably, I'll go 5. Yeah, I'll go 5 on that.
Anyone topping 5? All right, Jill gets it for 5.
Bo's thinking about it.
I'll
So
let
you won?
I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
Okay. All right. So to update, Bo, you only have Jake Elliott makes every kick, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure I have my facts straight.
I've
here.
got 15. Zach's got 17. Sheil's got 7. And there are 4 questions left.
Okay. Jalen Hurts' longest run is longer than Kyler Murray's longest run.
1.
Good one.
2.
3.
4.
5.
6.
7.
8.
9.
10.
Going once. Going twice.
11.
Oh.
12.
Ooh. You can have it.
12. Okay.
Zach is all in on a
Zach's
big
down
Jalen
to
Hurts
5.
running game.
5 turkeys.
Whoa. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Wait, I have 5 turkeys?
Left, yes.
Yeah, left.
How? Wait.
Yeah, you went from 31 to 27 to 24 to 17 to 5.
Oh, he's got a lot of, I didn't really, he's got a lot of things though.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got 4.
4.
I was aggressively bidding there. I wasn't even looking at my budget.
Now you're getting the gist of the game.
Jeez.
Okay. Elijah Riley plays 20% of snaps.
Oh, that's not going to happen, but I'll take my 1.
Plays 20%?
Mhm.
Can't get it for 1. It's not going to happen, though.
20% of the defensive snaps? Does it stipulate?
Yeah.
What about a special teams role?
It just says snaps, but we can clarify.
All right. Defensive is fair. I
Okay.
think that's implied. What would it take for Elijah Riley to get on the field here?
I mean, maybe.
He could get on the field.
Yeah, he can get on the field. Graylin Arnold is available too, so that hurts his chances. But
It would probably take Jalen Mills playing cornerback and then a safety going down and then playing 3 safeties in that situation.
A safety going down and them playing 3 safeties?
No, well, it depends if you consider Arnold over.
Well, yeah, and it depends if maybe Riley is like the backup strong safety and Arnold is the backup free safety or something.
I'll give it a 2.
I'll go 3. I can't really let Elijah Riley, someone else have Elijah Riley.
Going once. Going twice.
Okay.
Sold. Okay. We got 2 left. At least one player in the game has multiple sacks. And then it says at least 2.
That's it? One player in the game has multiple sacks?
At least one player in the game has multiple sacks. And then it says at least 2.
1, 2,
3,
4,
5.
7. It's mine.
Well, Shield has 7.
Yeah, he can't go. Yeah, I have.
Oh, right.
I bid 7, so he can't do it.
True.
Bo's very proud of himself for that one. Like a big chest out. It's mine. Settle down. All right.
Zach's still thinking about how he spent all his turkeys.
I hope there's not a single sack in this goddamn game. All right.
Okay. Last one.
Last one.
Deandre Hopkins sets a season high in receiving yards. Current high is 151.
How many turkeys does everybody have? I have
Shield
7.
7, Zach 5, Bo 5.
Oh, all right. So I
5.
can win this one if I want it. All right, 6.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Shield has 5 irons in the fire. 2 DeAndre Hopkins related ones. One is DeAndre Hopkins has a season high, and one is DeAndre Hopkins has the most receiving yards of any player against the Eagles this season. So rooting hard for DeAndre Hopkins. He's also got, there is a different O-line combination at the end of the game than the start of the game. Kyler Murray has a 30-yard run or longer, and Jalen Mills has a needless finger wag. I have only 3. Jake Elliott is perfect. Elijah Riley plays 20% of the snaps, and a player in the game has multiple sacks. Zach, with his back against the wall, has 4 choices. Travis Fulgham has more receptions than Larry Fitzgerald. Jalen Hurts' longest run is longer than Kyler Murray's longest run. One of the 2 quarterbacks has a career high in rushing yards. And knowing that he needs at least a tie, and a tie against me, a tie against Zach, against Shield will not do it. Zach controls his own destiny here with a family member making an appearance on the post-game pod for 5 minutes while Zach remains speechless.
Our listeners are very concerned about Zach. I mean, I think they legitimately think he's going to be writing his resignation letter to the Athletic.
No, I want to say I love this podcast. I really love doing this. I was scrolling through the comment section when I was down to 5 and I knew I wasn't really going to spend.
Okay.
And I feel like the listeners like misinterpreted the chemistry that we have. Someone said I'm a weird fit for this podcast.
that was one person. I think that got shot down pretty quickly.
Right. But
you've been a perfect. I can't imagine a better fit, honestly.
No, the good.
And I never say anything nice about anybody.
Was the Pacificio's comment about the stepdad who's who stepped in and become a real part of the family.
Yeah. But no, if there are 2 things that I value, it's my privacy and
turkeys.
And it's my privacy, and it's making sure that I've saved for a rainy day. And this game here has put both of those things in jeopardy. So.
Okay.
Pretty good stuff. So just for cleaning up.
I would think it as the listeners trying to help you, Zach. That like you're their actual
they were trying to throw you a
favorite.
bone because you were complaining last week about Shield getting to control it. So you and I have 5 turkeys to carry over for next week. Shield has just 1.
We love you, Zach. Zach is a great fit. I thought Zach would be a weird fit early on, but he's come out of his shell and become a great addition. I was worried when he joined, but it's been amazing. I mean,
we love you, Zach.
I don't know what the one clown was saying.
All right. Thank you.
Respectfully, clown. Thank you for listening.
The Berminator. I mean, they love you, Zach.
That's nice. I appreciate it. Yes.
Shield, before we get to the crystal bald eagle, would you like to have Marissa pick a number?
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, actually, someone give their prediction. Let me pull up the reviews and then we'll do it. Like, do your crystal bald eagle.
Okay. What's the line in this game?
It was 6.5.
6.5.
I can check again on DraftKings here.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, crystal bald eagle. I don't know. I think the Eagles actually have a chance in this game. I don't think it's crazy. I do think that Kyler Murray is specifically designed to torment this Eagles defense, and I think he will have some big plays with his legs. Obviously, Deandre Hopkins, if he's healthy, will be able to exploit the Eagles' secondary, unless he's going up against Elijah Riley, in which case he will be shut down. But I think Jalen Hurts has some juice. I think the Eagles are going to make this a competitive game. Are they going to win? I think so. I think the Eagles are going to win this game.
Wow.
25-23.
25. All right. 25-23. All right, Marissa, give me a number. It really can be anything. Just don't make it too high.
Okay, let's go 7.
7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. This is from Dabble in Scrabble. Says, emergency pod. Please help me understand what just happened. I can't wait for the end of the 3rd round. I need all 3 of you ASAP. This says posted. What it said posted when we drafted Jalen Hurts, but it was published on December 13th. I don't know what's good, but then
I think there's an app. I think there's an Apple thing where, like, if you've commented from that username before, it redoes your original.
No,
one
but then it says can't wait for the Saints post game. Does this save Howie's job? Does Doug have his mojo back? Is this D-line finally earning their checks? And how about Shields' boy Jay Sweat? So I don't, thank you for reviewing. I can't say I totally understand what's going on there, but dabble in Scrabble. Appreciate it. Email birdswithfriendspodcast@gmail.com, and we will send a Pastificio's gift card your way. And for the rest of you, you got 2 more opportunities here. Maybe more if they make the playoffs and win, like both think. So get on Apple Podcasts, rate, review. Also, let's do a little subscribe, unsubscribe, grab your kids' tablets, go on there, just
evangelize.
Yeah, do what you need to do.
That reminds me, now that we've made it all the way to the end of the episode, we were reached out to by the T Public people that we can do a giveaway of a long sleeve Birds with Friends t-shirt. So here's what we'll do. We'll do something based on the outcome of Sunday's game. Let's do what do you guys think? Total points scored, total rushing yards for Jalen Hurts, something fun. How about let's do Jalen Hurts' rushing yards plus Travis Fulgham's receiving yards. Give us your prediction on Twitter with hashtag.
No. On Apple Podcasts.
It won't come up before Sunday.
That's okay. We don't need it by Sunday. You can leave it now.
True.
We'll see the date that it's left.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Come
leave
on.
it before.
What are you, crazy?
Leave it. Yeah. Leave it. Your prediction for Hurts rushing yards plus Fulgham receiving yards, and whoever comes closest will get a free Birds with Friends t-shirt.
I like this. Very nice.
Long sleeve. For the winter.
Leave that review on Apple Podcasts. Hurts rushing yards plus Fulgham receiving yards, correct?
Closest to the pin. It's not. You are allowed to go
Price is Right
over.
rules. Yeah.
Not Price is Right rules. Yes, closest to the pin. And of course, as commenters pointing out, I am indeed holding true to my promise that once the Eagles made Elijah Riley a member of the active roster, they would win every game. So
Correct.
All right, Z-Berm, what do you got?
Zach says correct.
Yeah. So I agree with Bo that the Eagles have a shot to win this game. I don't think their odds are as long as last week. Vegas obviously doesn't either. This is a tough matchup given that the Eagles secondary is as banged up as it is. That being said, like I spoke about earlier this week, I think Jim Schwartz has shown that he can overcome undermanned secondaries because of the Eagles' pass rush and stopping the run. That being said, I'm bullish on Kyler Murray. I am curious to see how Jalen Hurts looks in another week out there. I am picking the Eagles to cover, but not to win. I do think they can win, but I am going with Cardinals 28, Eagles 24.
Now, the commenter said, who made the Z-Berm comment, said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I meant in sense of humor overall.
Oh, okay.
What I really believe is that you are in a very out of your comfort zone, which he finds very inspiring."
Yes,
there you go. Nice job out of you, Diego.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was taught growing up to try to do something every day out of your comfort zone. And I know when I come on this podcast, that would suffice for that day's obligation.
I feel like my parents preach the opposite.
Oh, really?
Never leave that comfort zone. Just stay right in there.
Yeah, my dad used to say, do one thing every day to leave your comfort zone.
I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. I think I'm on the same page with you guys. I think they have a real shot in this game. I'm not sold on a Kingsbury. I think their defense
more like a Jester's Berry. You know what I mean?
It really just depends on the week. You know, I think some weeks they look good, some possessions they look good. Other times it looks like it's pretty easy to expose them. I don't think they've got a lot of answers on offense, but their answers are fantastic, which is, Kyler Murray's legs and Deandre Hopkins, basically. And I'm kind of intrigued by, the Eagles did that against a Saints defense that's much better than the Cardinals. That was with 1 week of installing all these quarterback run plays. We've got Doug Peterson's record without Carson Wentz. They seem to rise to the occasion a little bit. Can you play a lot of zone and just make the Cardinals kind of have to work for it? And maybe your front four forces Kyler Murray into some sacks, and that's how you slow them down at least a little bit, maybe. I was tempted to pick the Eagles to win. I couldn't quite get there because I do think there is the formula of a DeAndre Hopkins, 11 catch, 208-yard game here with who they're playing.
That'll be big for you.
I know that's right. In the secondary. So I've got a close game. It wouldn't shock me if the Eagles were to win this game. It would be very interesting for the final 2 weeks here. When you look at Washington's playing the Seahawks this week, the Giants are banged up. No James Bradbury. They got Freddie Kitchens calling plays, which I guess could be an upgrade, certainly, over Jason Garrett. But they face a Browns team that's been playing well. So it could get very interesting come the end of Week 15. But I've got the Cardinals 27, the Eagles 24.
Remember when I gave Cliff Kingsbury that guff for wearing that heather at his press conference at the Combine?
I love a heather.
Well, I recently got my first heather, and it's pretty comfortable.
What's better?
Good.
What's a
but
heather?
heather is a color. A heather gray is a color.
No, it's the type of shirt.
Oh,
it's
a Henley.
A Henley. Henley.
What do you do? Come on. I mean, really,
Sorry.
that's
Henley's a good
embarrassing. I don't.
Henley.
How does the Henley fit? Because
it fits well. It's comfortable, but it looks like a pajama shirt. It doesn't. It still strikes me as inappropriate to wear it to a press conference. But
yeah, I think the Henley will come and go. I don't think that's here to stay.
I don't mind.
I'm gonna miss a weekend hanging out in Arizona. This is one of my favorite road trips.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I was thinking in bed the other night, trying to
Scottsdale.
run through the 2021 road trips in my head.
There's Vegas on there.
I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, very
It's
excited
not
for
a
that
bad.
one.
The one that's up in the air is NFC North. So could be Chicago, could be Minneapolis, could be Detroit.
All right.
I guess it could be Green Bay if they win the division. Yeah.
Scottsdale is an awesome place.
All right. So I need to start brainstorming my feature ideas of why I need to go to the Eagles-Raiders game next year. Is what you're telling me. Assuming, of course.
I'm sorry, Shio, you have clout, man. You could.
That'll probably be
the vaccination.
Raiders starting quarterback Carson Wentz.
Oh, Bo, my wife wanted you to give a shout. Wanted your take, or for you to give a shout out to the Monday Night Football broadcast. Now, I know you fell asleep early that day, but they were showing the trucks with the vaccines and really promoting kind of all right. And, she thought that was good, but a little unusual. So she wanted to know if you wanted to give the broadcast or the league any credit for promoting vaccinations. I think in some of our heads, it's not even a thing, right? It's just like, yeah, of course, but
Right.
we know that's not how everybody in America feels.
Yeah, it's like a celebrity when you hear you have a friend who has gotten the vaccine. Pretty cool. I don't think they deserve too much credit. I think the league itself has been an enormous net negative on the effect of COVID across the country. So, take your vaccines, but I'm not going to be patting you on the back. You absolutely were a negative effect. So, good job by ESPN, but the league itself, I mean, Roger Goodell is up there with some of the monsters in the world. So,
Jeez.
All right, there goes
One
that
man's
around
opinion.
the NFL job. All right, see ya.
that'll do it for this episode of Birds with Friends. For Zach, Sheil, and Marissa, I'm Bo. We'll be back after the game for the post-game pod on Sunday. We'll find out. Hopefully, we'll get a drop in from a Berman. Looking forward to it. Thanks to everybody for listening. Make sure that you drop in your predictions for Jalen Hurts rushing yards plus Travis Fulgham receiving yards on Apple Podcasts in an effort to win your free T-shirt from TeePublic. Okay, that'll do it. Thanks for listening. As always, we love you.